Good evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Those who follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and follow my short reels on TikTok under SGT. How's everybody doing this evening? I think today we got a little mixture of both Spiritual Abe and SIAS. From last video, I showed you who I am. Where I've been. It's something that the memories of where I've been, that's always going to be with me. I've been through a lot all throughout my life. Lost a family member, my mother, when I was very young. I was 15, and everybody was younger than me. So when we talk about struggles and surviving, I've been there. The pain of when you lose somebody is not a good feeling, and when there's no help coming from no directions, you're like, well, what are we supposed to do? Somebody's got to man up. So, I remember going to school and working 2 jobs just to try to help with my brother and sisters. I sacrificed a lot of things. Looking over my brother and sisters, and, I let go of scholarships for track. I was in track, lost a scholarship for that. I could have joined the priesthood, but I didn't do either because, I want to be there for my brothers and sisters. At the same time, after that is when I joined the military. But I know how it feels. I know how it feels. I can relate to a lot of people when they're going through things or they're trying to struggle and all this. I remember when I had nothing, but I had to find a way. It's always a way. Even though we didn't have the help, at that time in my life, we had some help, but not the help like to help us not worry about nothing, but to just focus in school. It wasn't like that. We had to. There was times where we literally had like a bag of potatoes, and that was the only food we had. And I would give that to my brothers and sisters. I'll say, look, give my plate. Y'all eat my plate. Because I knew everybody was hungry. When I was taking care of all my brothers and sisters, it's like we couldn't even apply for income tax. Even though I was like the head of the hospital, I was still underage. So, I had to work 2 jobs just to help out my brothers and sisters. So, when I see certain individuals talking about money, about giving them money and all this stuff, it's like when I went through what I went through, I worked for it. I worked for it, which made me a stronger person, a man at a young age. And so their life is about survival, and it's what you make out of it. So it was a good feeling. It's a good feeling when you're working 2 jobs, going to school, half a day to school, and even have time for track, but you're still doing what you're supposed to be doing to try to survive. There was times, quit wasn't in the picture. It's about survival, and it's kind of like my sister's 1 year apart of me. So once she turned of age, that she was able to work through a program through school, she started working at a bank. So we both were working. We both were working, and I quit 1 job and I was working at a Walmart when I was 16, 17 years old. So we struggled. But then my sister got married, and she left, and she took my youngest brothers and sisters. And it's like everybody that was there, it's like we're 7 of us. So it's kind of like everybody went their separate ways. So I seen the opportunity for me to do something that I've always wanted to do, and that was join the military. That was my opportunity to join the Army. I've always wanted to be in the Army. I used to have my godfathers right? In Spanish, they're called padrinos. My godfathers, they were in World War One, World War Two. That's the people that backed me up, that guided me. You know, when I was a kid, probably like 6, 7 years old, I was cutting the grass at a young age. You know, I was small and I could barely push a lawnmower. You know, so you could say I've always worked. You know, and they was already up there in age, and they would teach me things. You know, they show me how to turn on the lawnmower. They would show me how to change the oil out of it, and I was learning things from them. You know, one was a Marine, and the other one was in the Army, a tanker in the Army. So they would give me guidance. You know, I'm going to share a story with y'all guys. I'm going to share a story with y'all. You know, the warrior in me has always been in me. There was a time, there was this lady that was trying to buy a lot of land right there in my hometown, and my godfather, that was an ex-Marine, retired Marine, he had gotten hit by Agent Orange, and what would happen to him, he would have blisters pop out of nowhere on his face, on his arms, all over him. They got hit by some kind of chemical when he was in combat. So I remember the pain and suffering he had. You know, he was already older, and when that would surface up, he had a lot of pain. You know, his wife, my madrina, she was blind, so she couldn't see. You know, so she would just feel my face, just to see how I look. You know, by feeling my face, and you know, I was always cutting the grass. You know, that one day they were both crying. You know, one day they was both crying. They said that lady had sent some people. You know, she would get people from Mexico to come. They came to their house, and they threatened them for their lives. They threatened them if they didn't sell at a cheap price, that they were gonna handle them. Basically, that they were gonna kill them, right? So I heard this story because I was always paying attention. You know, I was like, at that time I was like 15 years old. You know, I was pretty tall, but I was 15, and I heard the story of what had happened. You know, so I went to cut the grass. I was cutting the grass, and here comes 3 guys. You know, they jumped over their fence. You know, even though they had it with chains, and they started threatening them, my padrino, my godfather. You know. Right in front of me, I shut off the mower, and I'm listening to what they're telling them. You know, they're telling them to sell their land at this price. They had a piece of paper that they wanted them to sign over, or else something was going to happen to them. You know, so I told them, hey, and they were older guys, probably like in their 20s. You know, and I told them, hey, leave them alone. And he's like, you stay out of it. You ain't going to do nothing, right? That's what they said. So they kept on messing with him. I went into his garage, grabbed the pick handle from the freaking the garage. I went out there. You know, when somebody, and I told them leave them alone. They didn't want to listen to me, so I took matters into my own hand. You know, I said, all right. I went out there. I didn't talk no more. I just handled business. It was 3 guys. 3 guys got beat up by a pick handle. You know, I was 15 years old. Took care of the situation. I beat them so bad that they freaking took off running. My godfather was all happy. One guy, I just tore him up with my fist. You know, through the last guy that left because the other 2 took off running. I tore him up with my fist. You know, I was only 15 years old. And my godfather, his name, his ladies soul rest in peace. His name was Santiago, and my madrina was called Doña Petra. You know, Don Santiago, Doña Petra is my godfather, my godmother. I beat the crap out of these guys. You know, they took off running, and he was, you know, I protected their honor. You know, I'm the type of person that if I see a situation that's getting out of control, You know, it's like a burning fire, right? Like a burning fire. I'm that person that'll shut the flame. You know, I'm that person that'll shut the flame. Whatever's trying to start a fire, I'll shut the flame. And I go to the source. I go to the source. And that was before I even joined the military. You know, I was a very strong-minded person, you know, that I wasn't afraid of anything, you know, and until this day, I ain't afraid of nothing. You know, the only thing that I know that can make us and take us, that's Jesus Christ. That's who I fear, is Jesus Christ. Anybody else that comes at me in a negative way, I don't fear because of where I've been at. But the heart of the warrior has always been with me, you know. When I see people trying to come at me in a negative way, in my mind, it's like, you don't know who you're dealing with. You know who you're messing with, you know, and, you know, I don't stand alone. There's people that know who I am, that have my back. You know, there's family that has my back, you know. You really don't know who you're dealing with, you know. But that warrior has always been within me. That warrior has always been within me. You know, like I said, my godfathers, one was a Marine, and the other one was in the Army, and they would give me advice. Like, for example, never give up. That was the one that stuck with me the most. Never give up. When I seen those guys messing with my godfather and my godmother, that boiled my blood. And I got a piece of all three of them. Trust me. Because I could see them for about 2 weeks. They were fearing for their lives. So for 2 weeks, all that was stirring up in me. And once I got a hold of those guys, I was just waiting for them to appear, you know, and just they happened that they showed up there that day. I was cutting the grass. I beat the crap out of all three of them. And I was only 15 years old. You know, so when I see people, you know, that they say I've had some joker, you know, a troll with a fake account that's probably working for somebody else, that hides behind a computer, and he thinks he's bad because they hide behind computers, that they can do this and do that, you know, but they're not man enough to handle it. I'm man enough to handle somebody that's got a problem with me. If they got a problem with me, man, we could do it like in the military. Let's handle it. Person to person, mano a mano, we'll sign a piece of waiver or something, you know, and settle the situation. But, you know, those kind of people, to me, you know, they hide and like playing little games. They ain't about nothing. You know, that'll be easy prey. You know, I respect somebody if at least, you know, that approach me man to man, right? Man to man, and tell me, hey, I got a problem with you. Those are the people that I would show respect to. Is the people that at least would tell me they had a problem with me. We'll talk about it. Either two things will happen when I was in the military. We're going to come out and we're going to squash it, or we're going to deal with it, because when somebody got a problem with you in the military, they think they're better than you. So we're going to find out through combat, right? So battling it out, see who's the badder person. And most of the time, that's how we handle the situation. When I was in the military, you know, there was one place called the pit where you handle a problem with somebody got a problem with you, handle it in the pit. It's a hole in the ground. It's just you and the person, you know, mano a mano, till they interfere because they don't want nobody to get seriously injured, right? But yeah, there's all kinds of how should I say, people that think they're in a higher echelon than anybody else, that think they're untouchable. But trust me, everybody's touchable. You know, me, it's like I could pretend I'm mad, but I like it. I like, you know, personally, I make the enemy think that I'm pissed off and all this stuff. But when I were to see them, to handle it person to person, then they know who I am. You know, like I said, other two things will come out of it. Is either gonna, you know, the truth will come out, they're gonna apologize, or whatever happens, happens, you know. Trust me, I've handled a lot of people like that while I was in the military. They think that they were untouchable, they think that they were bad, they were coming from the Crips and from gangs, from the military, that they're affiliated with the Pink Panthers, with the Black Panthers, the KKK. I fought skinheads. I fought all kinds of people that were not all up there in the head, you know. And, you know, I handled them with a breeze. No different than the people that started something with me here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters and on Facebook. I don't know what they're jealous about a veteran. You know, I done served my country proudly. I placed my life on the line. I mean, you know, if these guys are really true Americans, they could have served, right? Or they tried to do that stolen valor stuff. But to me, what I see, that's why I'm not focusing too much on a lot of things. I'm maintaining my love foundation is these people are just playing games. You know, they're not going to man up in any kind of way because they can't. They're not about that. I'm about that because what I've done, where I've been. You know, I can handle a situation like that. You know, I try to reach out to people through prayer, but they never contacted me back. But I know that a certain individual that's affiliated with this guy, you know, he had to do with what happened with my Facebook like 6-7 years ago, setting all these people to come after me, in which what happened is my account got permanently deleted, in which it erased all my my videos, my pictures from Positive Spiritualists. That's my original group. But what they didn't know was that I had everything as a backup downloaded, and I also had another account that still existed with the group, in which I was able to do all that. Then I recreated the group, Positive Spiritualists. The only thing, it never grew back again. You know, it never grew. So I created Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, and my numbers are growing up. The numbers are good in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. The numbers are growing on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on YouTube. You know, one thing about me is when I do these works, you know, sometimes it's easy for me when I do this works because it helps me. You know, it helps me let out the things that are within me, that for those that don't understand, a veteran or somebody that served in combat that had to take a life, how they would respond to somebody. You know, they're not all veterans, you know, are crazy, or the PD, when they say, oh, you got PTSD, you know, it's automatic. Anybody could get PTSD. You can get PTSD by seeing a tornado coming in and destroying the homes around you, possibly destroy your home. You can get PTSD off of that. You can get PTSD of a creek overflowing and your car gets pulled and it's taking you and you're underwater. You can get PTSD off of that because you don't know if you're going to live or die. There's different ways of getting PTSD, you know. I remember, I'll share a story with you of what I'm talking about. There was one day that the creek there in Elms Groves, it overflowed, and he started taking out the mobile homes, right? So as it was taking out the mobile homes, I could see the water was all the way up to my chest. That's how high I was, and I lived up the hill. So all the mobile homes that were downhill by the park were getting water. Some were underwater, you know. So I went to go help out the elderly that were disabled in the mobile home close to the park. I got them out of there. Then I was going to go to an other elderly in the other place, but when I got to her location, the water was black, real black, you know. But I still went and knocked on her door, but she never answered. So when I was going back to my house, I witnessed the backlights of a vehicle in the water. You know, there was this man that was always being mean to me. Always being mean to me. He was actually a veteran also. He was in the Vietnam, and he was always messing with me, you know. So I'm looking at this taillights, and I tell my nephew, "Hey, go see what's going on with that vehicle over there." You know, we figured that the water just took it because, you know, it just took it off the driveway or whatever. So the next thing you know, my nephew's yelling and say, "Hey, there's somebody in here," you know. So I went over there, and it was that individual that was always mean to me, you know. He was trapped in there. He was like, the water's all the way up to his nose already. He was trying to break. He was in a Mustang. You know, he was a big guy, and he was in a Mustang trying to break the window, but he couldn't. And he was crying. And I looked at him and said, "Hey, we got you, man. We got you. Just calm down, you know." They train us for situations like this in the military. So it was me, my brother-in-law, and my two nephews. I said, "This is what we're going to do. This is a game plan." I said, "We're not going to break no window or nothing like that. We're going to use the tires as a floating device." I said, "I'm going to lift up the front, y'all lift the back, and we're going to walk the vehicle up to higher ground." And when we were doing this, there was the fire department with the tubs up there, with the little boats. They never went down. They didn't know what we were doing. The police was up there. So as we're carrying this Mustang with a man trapped in it, his name was Frank. We're carrying it. They kept on screaming at us, telling us to leave the vehicle alone, or they're going to put us in jail. And I was like, "Y'all shut up. Y'all know what's going on," you know. So we kept on walking it up, and they kept on threatening us that they're going to put us in jail. So when we took him to higher ground, and we opened up the door, all the water came out, and he came out. Then those guys wasn't saying nothing no more, and I was like, this is what the fire department people told me, that it was too dangerous a situation, that they were told not to go down there and help, that it was too dangerous. Then why are you even in the fire department? The policemen, they're supposed to protect too, right? They didn't even get wet. We're the ones that do all the job. So we saved this man's life from drowning, even though this individual treated me badly. You know, I saved his life. We saved his life. And after that, you know, it's like he couldn't stay there no more. He said he was getting PTSD just thinking of how the water was rising, and that he had called the people that were in charge of that location of where we lived, and that he was loyal to them, right? He was loyal. They threw him to the dogs. He was loyal to them. The only reason he would mess with me is because of them, which was the people in charge. They were crooked managers. So he had called them initially several times. They picked up a phone and told them they were going to go, but they never showed up. So it wasn't for me, my brother-in-law and his children. That man would have been dead. He would have drowned, right? You figure we saved the man's life, at least we're going to come out on the newspaper. The police department and the fire department never said nothing about us saving that man's life. The man was mad at the guy, so when the guy came and told him, "Hey, are you okay?" he said, "F you." And he told him to leave him alone. But he could have died, but we saved his life. So what he did is he packed his stuff and he moved with his daughter that lives up in Houston. That's the last time that I seen him. He was already in his 60s, late 60s. This is like, I would say, 8-9 years ago. But we saved his life, you know. That's why I don't understand why. Well, it's not about understanding. We know that there's good people in this world, and we know there's bad people in this world. However they were raised. Me, cousin Jesse knows. He's right here. How you doing, cousin? And sister Maria, how you doing? We was raised through tough love. Tough love. There's no love, just tough love. It's like you couldn't say things in front of adults. That's a whooping. If you didn't respond when they're calling you the first time, that's a whooping. So I grew up in that kind of type of love, which is not good because it's not showing you real love. But sometimes what happens, they were raised that way, so they're trying to raise their children the way they were raised, which becomes like a generational curse, so you have to stop that way. It's kind of like the certain individual that lives in the trailer home, roach infested home. The only thing he knows is what is taught to him by his mother. So he was taught just applying for food stamps, for being dirty, and no personal hygiene, and he was taught that way. That's all he knows. Whose fault is that? It would be the parents' fault, I would say. But at the same time, if somebody doesn't want to live that way, they have the choice to change their ways and not follow suit for what somebody showed them, which then it becomes the personal choice, right, of being that way. I could pray for these people. I could pray for them, but if they don't want to change their ways and be that way, that's their choice. As I was just making this quick video to let you know a little bit of myself. When I was at the golf. When the Gulf War started, I was there from the beginning to the end. So the Gulf War then became Operation. There was one called Operation Desert Storm and Operation Desert Shield. I was in all that Gulf War. I was in the Gulf War. So I was around there. So what makes me different than a lot of podcasters that are here, the podcasters or whatever they do, is that I've seen a lot of things that I had to live with. But at the same time, I gain wisdom and knowledge of what I've experienced, what I've been through. But one thing that's always been with me and has never left me, whether it was the child me, what I went through when I was a kid, the teenager, when I was in the military, to the person I am now, one thing that I've always carried with me is the true faith through Jesus Christ. I know there's people that believe in other things. I got the video here where I said that through the Spirit, God guides me, where I found a truck. I found a truck in the woods, and I was looking around, yelling to see who was there. Nobody would respond. So when I could feel the presence of a lot of negative, unclean spirits around me that didn't want me to look. So I left the area, called the cops, gave them the coordinates of where this truck was. I was waiting for them there, but they never showed up. So as they never showed up, I have very good spiritual instincts, people. And this is a true story, and it's here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I'm going to download the clip when I found the truck, and then I'm going to place a picture of the person. Well, what happened is they didn't show up, so then they called me later on the night around 6:37, and they tell me that if I could give him the coordinates to where this truck was. And I said, yes. Well, this guy, I guess, had been missing for about 2 months and a half, you know. They had been missing for 2 months and a half and nobody knew where he was at. Well, it was because of me that he was found. You could say I'm my spirit, through the Heavenly Father, He ordered me, gave me the, how should I say, the blessing to go find this person that was missing. It was because of me that this individual was found. So you could say, how should I say, I'm trying to say it in a way that I don't want to offend nobody else, that they say that they do certain things. I've been doing this thing spiritually, you know, and God guides me where to go. So if that's not the best way spiritually to find somebody that is missing, I got quick results real fast. You know, I didn't even know, I wasn't even looking for nobody. It just happened that way. The Heavenly Father guides me. You know, He's taking me to locations where people are in danger. I'll give you an example. I was going to get the water out of I had a case of water in the trunk of my car. It was 12 o'clock. And my wife told me, just leave it there till tomorrow. But something within me told me, go outside, which, you know, that's how the Heavenly Father works. I went outside, and as I was opening I opened the trunk, I heard some commotion coming from the stairs next to me. It was an apartment complex, right, where I used to live. There was a woman with a baby in her hand. She was butt naked, running for her life. There was a guy coming after her, hitting her. Boom, boom. So I told him, hey, leave her alone. So what I had in the trunk was this. It was a case of water, and I had my fillet knife when I go fishing. He wasn't leaving her alone. So I grabbed the knife, and I was gonna use the knife. But I left the knife, and I closed the door. Boom. Left it in there. And then I went up to him. I said, hey, leave her alone. By then, more people came out, you know. So this guy seen that he was unnumbered, and he took off running. But if it wasn't for a higher power to tell me go get the case of water, that woman, she was young. She introduced herself to me the following day. I was there to write a police report. I carried her little baby boy till the police got there. She thanked me. You know, God places us in certain situations for a reason. That's one of the reasons I would say I will not leave my group. I will not leave the spiritual community, the paranormal community, the cryptic community, or anything where I'm involved in. I won't leave. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to be a quitter. There could be all kinds of drama happening, but I don't worry about the drama that's happening. I stay focused on the target. You know, on the target, which means, you know, if things get out of control and somebody decides to come and pay me a visit, well, that's what I'm talking about. That'll be the target, because if they come, especially in a negative way, then I got to do what I got to do, you know. And that I'm very good at, you know. Like I said, 10 years in the military, in the front lines. We're the first ones to get called to go into combat. I know about offense. I know about defense. So you figure that one out. Who in the right mind will want to challenge somebody of my capabilities, you know? Now I know there's what I witnessed. There's alliances within the cryptic community, and some of these individuals, they truly do not believe in Jesus Christ. they believe in Lucifer and Satan, you know, and that's what they worship. So they come at me in a negative way. But you know what? You're not the first ones. It's been happening. The people that have come up against me in the past, they were a lot worse than you. But they're not here. You know, I leave everything up to God sometimes. I leave it up to God, but they're not here. Higher than I hear, some of these people that have fought spiritually, that wished bad upon me, that wished death upon me. As I place Jesus Christ first, He takes care of my enemies, you know, because He's my protector. So He takes care of my enemies. So I'm just speaking here as Sergeant SIAS, Brother SIAS, Spiritual Ape SIAS. You know, God has blessed me with many gifts that I do possess, that I have, that I can help out people by myself. You know, I like working by myself spiritually because, you know, you have to be spiritually prepared at all times, you know. So if something's going to happen, you know, well, I'm here, but I'm protected by higher power. So when I go to certain locations, God is guiding me, you know. They're like, well, some people that might be looking for people that might be missing. Well, that's not what my mission here on earth is. My mission here on earth is finding the spirits of the dead, trying to help them cross over. And that's what I do sometimes. Well, most of the times when I'm out there, I catch them on the video when somebody is telling me, help me, you know, whether it's the voice of a man, of a woman, of a child. So I'll start praying, you know, because they can see the light within me. So I pray to God to send His angels to assist me, to help me cross over that spirit. You know, I do it all the time. And what happens is these DDN or demons that are territorial of that area, they get pissed off because there's one soul that I help cross over. People might ask, well, how do you know that it's a soul that you're crossing over? Because how do you know? I know because I do it I've done it all the time. You know, spiritually, you have to be spiritually ready, spiritually grounded. And when the Heavenly Father blesses you with a spiritual gift of discernment, they'll surface up, you know. They'll show you themselves, just kind of like how the DDN surfaces up and show me that they're there around me and their beastly forms, which it doesn't scare me one bit, because I know that through Jesus Christ I can rebuke them. Well, I'm facing this kind of things when I go out there and do the spiritual works, or if somebody calls me to their house to get rid of the unclean spirit in their home. Sometimes I run into, some might be ghosts, and some are demonic of nature. When they see me and I see them spiritually, they already know what they do. They try to hide, but I speak. I say, hey, you better you leave now or else. They're hiding. They're trying to hide in the darkness within the houses. So I do what I do spiritually, and I cleanse the homes and get rid of the unclean spirit that's been unclean, demonic, that's been running havoc in the household, scaring the family members of the household, the children, targeting them, trying to install fear, and I get rid of them. There's no different than when somebody dwells in evil, you know, and they're affiliated and say, let's go mess with this individual, let's do this, let's do that. You know, I don't have to do nothing. You know, the Heavenly Father takes care of them. But like I said before, at Sergeant SIAS perspective, those are people that hide behind computers, play games because they're not man enough to handle the situation. You know, if somebody hates me that bad, you know, we can solve it. You know, we can talk about it. because just because I believe in Jesus Christ and you believe something else, we can handle it however. We can talk about it, or we can handle it hombre a hombre, We'll see who's greater. That's how I see it as. But when people play games, sooner or later, I'll tell you, sooner or later it comes back and bites you. It bites you in the arse. When you're playing games like that, karma comes back and gets you. So be very careful on the waters that you tread, because it can come back and get you. Trust me. I've met many people in my past that think the same way you do. And I'm talking not the pawn that you're using. There's no one speaking, not the pawn. You know who I'm talking about. I've met people like that in the military. They thought they were untouchable. Trust me, they were touchable. That's all I have to say for this video here right now. I'm just sharing some stories, and for the people that think that they can't get knocked off their high horse, that they can play games with people, sooner or later it's going to come back. And when it does, it's going to be too late. I don't know why somebody would target a veteran of the United States Army that was in the Gulf War and Operation Desert Shield / Operation Desert Storm. They served proudly, and they want to come at me in a negative way. It's not going to trigger my PTSD because I have Jesus Christ with me. But the only thing that it'll trigger a little bit, it is not good for you, is SIAS, because SIAS is ready to handle business. You're ready to handle business. It's kind of like put up or shut up. If it's kind of like, I understand if maybe I would have said something bad about somebody or started trolling somebody or coming after somebody, but that's not what happened. I was the one that was targeted. Whatever reason, I believe the reason is because Brother Abe SIAS believed in Jesus Christ. He's always believed in him when he was SIAS. I got targeted, and they don't like what I speak of, So I said, okay, this guy, we're going to go after this guy, My group is not that big, but I do have real people in my group. It's not bots and it's not trolls. If anybody's disrespectful in my group, boom, you're out of there. Might give a warning, depends what it is, but if it's real serious right off the bat, you're out of there. I don't tolerate bullies in any kind of way, shape, or form, whether it's mental or physical. I don't tolerate it. I've been through all that stuff, and I don't tolerate none of that. When the certain individual with his fake profiles came at me, and he gave his identity away, Mikey, he didn't know what to do because his name popped up instead of the Damon guy. He erased Damon completely, right? And then he's like, oh, you're talking to me. He wasn't talking. He's trying to play it off, but he gave his identity away. And it's like, I never done nothing to this guy. Shit, this guy, his living conditions are poor. I never really met him. I never seen him face to face. And I was like, oh, so you're the one that was messing with me all this time. You're the one that invited me to the group, and you're the one that messed with me in the group. Been messing with me all this time. Well, SIAS were like, well, at least I know who I'm gonna go after. At least I know that's a guy that's been messing with me, and that's a guy that I'm gonna handle. I'm gonna handle the situation. But then, after seeing his poor living conditions and that he's not that bright, he's really never done nothing in life. Probably never left his mobile home. He's been living there for a long time. I feel sorry for the guy, man. I honestly do. But at the same time, some people like that, they learn the hard way. They learn the hard way because that's the only way they know. They've picked up the dirty tricks or whatever of the life they live, and they think they can mess with people, thinking there won't be any kind of anything coming their way. I'm just here to tell you that I'm just going to leave it up to God. Whatever happens, happens. I'll leave it up to God. I think it's very funny. It's RNC is speaking right now. It's very funny how all these people want to talk a lot of crap about a lot of people, but they don't have the balls as a man to solve it person to person. But they just want to talk all this crap, but they're not man enough to face RNCs, whether it be old boy from Oklahoma or wherever is affiliated with them, causing problems. You're not men enough to handle the situation. Here in Texas, we can sign a piece of paper and we can settle it. You hate me that bad that you had to set me up to be in a group to talk bad through fake profiles for about 8 months. Then you finally gave your position away. If that wouldn't have happened, I think that you would have still been using the fake profiles. Now people are aware of you, so they know they can compare now to when you write something that it's you, or to whoever's working with you. So they gave your position away. Yes, mutual combat. Here in Texas is mutual combat. So whoever wants to get some, come get some. Sergeant Shields is ready. He is ready. I work out daily. He is ready. He's already all the time. I'm Recon 1 all the time. You don't have to do all that, man. If you want to get my attention, you want to just get my attention, all you have to do is, if you want to get my attention as a man, I respect you as a man if at least you tell me something in my face, that would, and then I'll say, okay, so what do you want to do about it? And we'll settle it man to man, mutual combat. That's what I'm referring to. Mutual combat here in the state of Texas is legal. So all these people that are affiliated with Dirty Mike, I won't call him Dirty Mike, Dirty Mike, or whoever's affiliated with them, there's an open challenge here by Sergeant SIAS in the state of Texas for mutual combat. And we'll see what you're about. Like I said, I'll respect you more as a man in that manner. Now, if you don't choose a mutual combat and you continue to mess with my group, sending people my way, and God forbid, one day we will bump against each other, then the mutual combat will be out of the way, in which that would mean that at least through mutual combat, we can face person to person, man to man. You keep on playing these games and stuff. What's it saying? Treat somebody like a redheaded stepchild. Well, that's going to happen if you continue to be playing games. So I suggest you and the people affiliated with you stop. That's all I got to say. Stop. I do have friends in higher places in the military. I can find your addresses, find your location where you live. All I can say is stop. It's been, I guess, 2 weeks now have passed by. 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, and y'all still playing games, but none of y'all that's affiliated with Dirty Mike has the balls or cojones to do this mutual combat here in the state of Texas. So what is that telling me? that you ain't worth my time because you ain't man enough to do anything. Oh, I know, cuz I know you got my 6. Blood is thicker than water. You know, it's like, it's crazy. The only reason I'm saying anything about this is because they threw my name in there, trying to make fun of me for a while, for about 6 months, 8 months in that group. But anyways, enough talking about this people that are like maggots. I'm gonna call y'all maggots right now. Anybody affiliated with 30 Mike, I'm gonna call y'all maggots. Because that's what you are, maggots. Always crawling slowly, trying to hide in the cracks so you can survive. I'm gonna call y'all maggots from now on. Maggots. But anyways, I share a little bit of stories here tonight. You know, I'm just making this quick video to talk about this. You know, I don't dwell on it. You know, I don't dwell that I want to whoop somebody. But if something arises and I'm placed in a situation, then I'll do what I have to do to overcome the situation. That's basically all I'm saying. Is like stop messing with people. Me, you've been messing with me for so long. All I would do is just block you. So it's kind of like, because I know you're not man enough to do anything through the mutual combat. You know that like you ain't wasting my. It's just a waste of time and a waste of breath. You know, all I gotta say is, do not come to the state of Texas in the wrong way. That's all I gotta say. And I do have the backs of the other people you're messing with. I have Josh Turner's back. I have Sister Bettina Moss's back. I got Belhan Holler's back. Whoever you're messing with, I got their backs, because you know why I got their backs? Because you're messing the same way you mess with me. So I got their backs. Like I said, Oklahoma's not too far away from Texas now. It's not too far away. So I suggest stop the crap that you're doing. I live very close to Oklahoma. So stop the crap that you're doing. Plain and simple. You want to do your podcast and you say you're this great of a freaking researcher and you put yourself on a high pedestal. I personally don't think you are. Honestly. Of the videos that I've seen, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed one bit. So I don't know how you even got people, I guess, people looking at you. I'm not impressed. How you got the numbers? As dumb as you are, I would say that somebody helped you. So the person that's behind you is the one that helped you get those numbers. And that's the person that I want. Like I said, keep on messing around. One way or the other, we're going to find out who that person is. And if I have to find it through you, I will. All I'm saying, stop messing around with the people that you're messing around with, because it can come bite you in the ass. Going to share another story with y'all. How SGT SIAS is not afraid of death. I was at a pool, at the swimming pool where I used to live, and my son was swimming in the water. There was this young boy that was like 17 years old, a Puerto Rican, and he would always come play basketball with my little nephews. And that day, as I was waiting at the pool, you know, I had seen him riding around in a truck. You know, he was 17, riding around in a truck, in a black truck. So he came inside the gate, and it was him, a white guy, and a black guy. They came and stood right in front of me. How you doing, Brother Carlito? They came and stood in front of me, and the Puerto Rican guy was looking at me. You know, he was always coming for advice. What had happened is he was on the wrong path. He was selling drugs for some people from Austin area, right? So something happened at a party where they stole their stuff and stole the money, so he didn't have the money to pay the people in Austin. So I'll tell him, how come you just don't let me talk to those people and maybe, we'll work something out? So no, it's not your business, it's my business, So I let it be. So what happened was, I'm going to continue with the story. They were standing in front of me. The Puerto Rican kid said, I can kill you right now. There's nothing that anybody can do about it. And I'm sitting there just looking at him. I said, well, you said that to me. I'm your friend. And then he said the same thing again. I can kill you right now. There's nothing that anybody can do about it. And then I told her, and my Sergeant SIAS was fixing to come out to handle business. But something within me, spiritually, because I believe in Jesus Christ, Sergeant SIAS believes in Jesus Christ, said to maintain my love foundation. So I told him, hey man, I know your brother, I know your mom, I know you, I'm your friend. Why would you say that to me? So then he just gave me a smile, a smirk, and he told those guys, let's go, let's leave. So they walked out of the gate. So that was kind of like weird to me, in Elms Grove, I had already experienced the DDN, the skinwalkers and all that. So I figured that what was working through them was that, the DDN, the demonic spirits, right? So I grabbed my son and went home, right? I went home. Following day, in the news, they captured that kid. You know what he had done? Well, the black truck he was driving, that black truck belonged to a couple. That black truck belonged to a couple that he killed, and they burned their bodies. And he had killed 2 strippers and buried them out there in the open space near the airport where I live. 2 strippers. So he already killed 4 people. 4 people. So basically what I'm saying is, I know God was there protecting me, but at the same time, it's kind of like playing, looking at somebody, studying a person. Well, I was studying spiritually and physically. There was 3 compared to me to 1, but I knew that I could handle myself, because when I was in the Army, I used to fight up to numbers of 7 and 8 people. I would make my platoon come at me, and I know how to fight, right? So I would use it to get them stronger, and I use it to continue to stay strong. So luckily, nothing happened that day. It wasn't, God was on my side. But that kid, they gave him, I believe, 60-something years in prison for what he did. The reason he did that, since he didn't want my help, and I'm more sure this was happen, that he had to make up for the money, right? So they put him to do it, to go after these people that owed him money. So that's why he did what he did. 17 years old, and he's got to spend the rest of his life in prison. This happened in Elms Grove, I remember a time where somebody stole a story of mine and tried to make it theirs. There's a lot of that here in the cryptid community. You can say a story and people try to flip it around. I said what I say. I even got the proof. When I said that I'm spiritually guided to able to help souls and to find people that are missing, I got the proof through my videos. Who was there that day when I found that truck? You was there, Brother Carlito, when I found the truck in the woods, wasn't you? And Cousin Jesse, you were there on that live, right? So there's certain people that proclaim that they go hunt for people that are missing and all this. I go not for bodies. What I go for is for the souls, because they need to, in order for a soul to be saved, they have to be buried in holy ground. So the bodies has to be found in order for it to be placed in holy ground, and in order to cross over You know, so that's what I do. I have the I have the proof. I mean, the proof is right there in spiritual encrypted encounters of what I do. But you still got people that trying to come up against me, trying to steal some of my stories, trying to pretend they're me. You know, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that do spiritual works, but I'm the real deal. I've been doing it for a long time. You know, they want to say they do this, they do that. Everything I do, the works that I do is through Jesus Christ. Everything I do is through Jesus Christ. When I whooped the person, it was through Jesus Christ. There was this guy that was like 6'9", big old African American, told me he was gonna grab me, break my back, and leave me paralyzed for the rest of my life. I prayed to the Heavenly Father to give me the strength and the speed. Guess what? I had the speed and the strength, and Muhammad Ali would have been too slow for me. This guy was huge, and I took him out with one blow. All I'm saying is Jesus Christ blesses us, and He gives us the certain things that we need to survive at that time. At that time, I needed superhuman strength. I needed speed, and guess what? I had it. I had it and overcame the obstacle. But that's how it works. God is amazing. When I was in combat, when they say when the gates of heaven open, that the weather goes crazy. When I was in combat, before we went in combat, we had that desert had the most rain ever recorded in history. What does that mean? That means that Jesus Christ was with me. We went there and handled business. Just like all these people, they're trying to come at me in that negative way. I'm not worried about them. If a whole freaking army, and if I'm representing Jesus Christ because He's with me and I believe in Him through true faith, do you think I'm worried about a couple of freaking nerds or assholes that they're not man enough to do something? I'm not worried about them. That's like chicken feed. It's too freaking easy to what I faced, you know. Like I said, they can put themselves on a high pedestal. They think they're bad. They ain't nothing. They ain't nothing. Or if they want to man up and prove it to me that there's something, hey, I'm all game. I'm all game. I don't back away from nobody. I'm all game. You want to show me your man, you say you do this. I mean, when you say you threaten women and say you're going to do this to a woman, well, I'm not a woman. I'm a man. You have the cojones, or it's not the cojones when you're threatening women. That's like cowardly stuff. Come threaten me, SIAS. Come face me, tell me in my face. Instead of playing it, come tell me. We handle it. We settle it, man to man. Whoever wants to take the call of what you believe in, who you do with, you Lucifer, Satan, well, I'm going to show you. I'll show you how great God is. He'll use me as the vessel, and we'll overcome you. Whether you want to do it spiritually or physically, let's do it. I'm game. I'm just tired of all this people trolling, all these trollers and fake profiles, because I think they can come mess with anybody. I'm game. I'm game all the time, and I know. I'm just going to tell you like this. I'm not alone. I don't stand alone. I mean, Jesus Christ is with me, and all His heavenly angels are with me. But there's a lot of other people that are around me that have my back also. So I'm not worried about however many you are. If you come in with goat's heads on or sheep heads on because you believe in your cult, I'm not worried about y'all. I'll just handle y'all. Y'all stirred the pot, threw me in there. Hey, let's do this. I'm game. SIAS is always game. I guess y'all don't know that I work out daily. I mean, now that you want to do a mano a mano, then, you want to do it a different way, weapons or whatever. Hey, I'm an expert in weapons too. Expert in many weapons. But, you know, it's not about using weapons. It's about just doing a gentleman's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement to handle the business, you know. Now, as you send me a message that you apologize to me or something, then, you know, we leave it alone. But if you continue to mess around, you know, things are going to happen. I like going to WinStar in Oklahoma, by the way. I go there all the time. You know, the only thing I don't like is bullies of women, because it's a guy and they think they're gonna choke a woman out. The dude is a fat ass, weighing like 450 pounds, because he takes advantage of a woman, thinks he's bad, you know, or he thinks he's a different color or a different race. He's blacker than the night. Blacker than the darkest waters, and he thinks it's bad because he likes scaring women or choking them. That ain't bad. They ain't nobody. Come and do the gentleman's agreement. You know who SIAS is. Come on over to Texas. I got something for you. Yeah, a lot of these guys, man, haters, man, haters. I don't even know why they came at me the way they did, but they're haters. They're not men. They're not men. They're cowards. I'm saying it. Cowards. In Spanish, it's called cobardes. It means that you're coward when to handle a situation. You start something, but then you're afraid to resolve it. You know, that's a coward, a cobarde. That's what we call it in Spanish, cobarde. But anyways, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just making this quick video. Whoever wants to view it from the beginning. But Brother Carlito, maybe we'll do that show. I know Cousin Jesse was talking about werewolves and vampires the other day. But if we're still on to do that show for Halloween, man, let me know the time and date. You know, see if I can make it, because I know my darling likes dancing, you know, likes me taking her out dancing. So just let me know, hit me up with that, you know. This is just my venting a little bit, you know, SIAS venting. I got my new hat on here. It says Gulf Veteran. Yeah, it's like, as you see, Brother Carlito, I make friends. I like doing podcasts and stuff like that, but you don't see my numbers growing drastically, because, you know, I like to do everything myself. I don't make deals with anybody, you know. I just do it myself. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it don't, it don't, you know. That's me. I stay humble to myself. You know, to me, what I do is not about money, because money is the root of all evil. What I do is because of my heart, my kindness, the good heart that I have, and that's what I like to do. This works, you know. And I continue to stay humble. You know, the reason I don't take money for nobody is because of what happened a long time ago when I was a teenager. When my sister was messing with the Ouija board, and I burned it. You know, I burned the Ouija board from her. I ain't going to say the whole story, but I burned the sucker. Put some alcohol in it, fired it up, put some holy water in it, the crucifix, burned it. 2 weeks later, I'm out there where some my female friends are talking to me, and this guy passes and makes this weird animal noise, you know. They get scared. He turns back and he stops. He says, "Who's scared? Who's scared?" So nobody's saying nothing, you know. The girls are not saying nothing. And then he says, "Who's scared?" And when I look at them, they look frozen, like if time had frozen or stopped, you know. So I feel like I'm in a bubble of time and space, like where there's no time or space, because they're not moving. So it becomes more of a spiritual battle, a bubble. And people that are not true of faith wouldn't know how to fight a situation like this. That's why I'm saying this story to y'all. So I'm standing there, and this person, he's mocking me, he's mimicking me. Everything I do, he's doing. You know, whether I put my hand on my hips, he's doing it. Whatever posture I'm standing, he's doing. So I'm looking at him and I say, hey, it looks like this person that I knew from school. I know cousin Jesse, remember Martin Kafka? How you doing, cousin Mario? Martin Kafka, everybody knows Martin Kafka, you know, and then that's what it looked like it was a Martin Kafka. So he's standing there in front of me, and I said, what are you doing here, man? You know, are you drunk, or are you smoking weed? What are you doing here, messing with my friends? He's like, I'm going to give you a hint. He said, just because you put you put holy water, you put the crucifix on me, pray against me, and burn me up, doesn't mean you're going to finish me. So what it was is that when I burned that Ouija board, the demon come out of the Ouija board. You see? So right there when he said that, I already knew he was in Martin Kafka. So I was there, and my sister had come out. The one that had, my sister B, and I told her to go inside. So she went by the gate and was standing by the gate, you know, and he was telling me, look, you could, you know, he said, you know what road you're on. But in my road, if you follow me, you can have whatever you want. He said, you could be the richest man on earth, but you got to follow me. So this car was passing by. The headlights hit him in the face. You could see a skull. We could see a snake going through the skull's face. And then his form changed back. And I said, first of all, the only thing I have to say to you is, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Started doing the Our Father, saying the Our Father, the deliverance prayer. Then my sister came because she heard what he had said, and she seen how he looked when the light hit him in the face. And she started praying with me. And he started moving all crazy, moving real fast. And he said, I can't win right now, but there's going to be a day that God is not going to be with you. So he turned around, got on his bike, and didn't even go 4 or 5 feet. And poof, a puff of white smoke that smelled like sulfur. That day, the demon or unclean spirit that was in front of me, we overcame it through Jesus Christ. So that's the reason that you don't see me putting a cash up there or nothing like that, trying to collect money for anybody, because of what happened to me when I think at that time I was like 16 or 17, where he was trying to offer me all the money in the world. I don't need that. That's why I do the works that I do, spiritual works that I do, for free, because I don't need no money for nobody. Yeah, no, those guys are not going to do nothing. They're focused right now. That guy is focused on targeting brother Josh Turner from Per and Hour Round Table. That's what they're targeting right now. And they're targeting a lot of people. Me, I got invited, you know, made a couple of podcasts with Josh Turner. But I've done podcasts with everybody. I've done podcasts with Carlito. I've done those other ones where you're here through iTunes. I've been doing all kinds of stuff. Well, people always want me to do podcasts with them, so I said, okay, I'll do them with you. I guess what really triggered the guy from over there is because I got invited to be on the panel. You know, I spoke for very briefly, but just because I spoke very briefly, I guess this guy was jealous, or either he was jealous because he will want to be out there, or maybe the person that's working behind him is jealous because he didn't get invited to that PRT conference. You know, that's beyond my control. You know, I went, I got invited. Matter of fact, I wasn't going to go to it. You know, I wasn't going to go because I had an accident that week. A trash can hit my leg so hard, man, that I felt like it broke. So I wasn't going to go to the conference, you know, and You know, I had already been invited, and I was gonna tell him, hey, I'm not gonna be able to go. So Friday came along. All that week, man, I was sick, bad. My leg was hurting, was swollen. And my wife said, are you gonna be able to make it? You know, and I got hit on the leg. I had the blood clot. And it's like, it was already Sunday afternoon, and I was in the daze. I mean, it was Friday. When she got off early Friday, are you still gonna go or what? And within myself, I said, no, I'm not going, right? I was gonna tell her, no, I'm going, but then I said, you know what? I'm gonna work through this, you know, work through the pain and all this, and we're still gonna go. So we still went. I went out there with, when they say, what's your rating of pain? I had like a 9, man, 9, almost 10 in pain. My leg was hurting so bad, but I still managed to go. You know, I said, you know what? I'm a man of my word. If somebody told me, hey, you're gonna be able to come, if I said yes, well, I'm a man of my word. And I was hurting. I was gonna change my mind. There was some people that didn't show up because of a hurricane that was happening somewhere else. But you know, I'm a man of my word, so I still showed up, even though I was in pain. A lot of people didn't know I was in pain. They didn't know how hurt I was. Matter of fact, this week, the conference was like what last month. Well, my leg barely is getting better. The reason it's barely getting better because I'm on the blood thinners. So it takes longer for me to heal. So, you know, I'm not like Wolverine that I have the healing factor because of the blood thinner that I take. It takes me that longer to heal. But now this week I'm feeling better, and SIAS is feeling a little bit frisky. You know, he's feeling like Wolverine right now. He want a piece of the guy that messed with SIAS, the Warriors. How should I say? Spiritual sleep. Did you ring? Did you call me? I'm your Huckleberry. It's like they're coming over here trick or treating, and I ain't gonna give them no candy. Come, you know, it's like trick or treaters, no. They want to ring your doorbell. Hey, trick or treat. These guys want to talk shit, and they don't want to talk shit, but they want nobody to say nothing back to them because they freaking try to report you and shit. You know, man, screw that. You started this shit. I'm ready to finish it. You know, at least apologize. But they're not even man to apologize, you know. Like I said, it's when a person covers a lie with another lie, 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 with another lie. What kind of person are they? Fucking liars, Pinocchio, or should I say, panochas? That's what they are. Pinche pans, man. That's what they are, pans. For that, you know, I'll just go buy me a loaf of bread. You know, they're panes, man. You know, freaking want to start stuff and don't want to man up. What kind of not a man at all? No cajones. Cause normally, man, you should listen to this guy's video, man. He's dumber than a rock, dude. So I'm like, how does he have that many subscribers if he's dumber than a rock? And everything that he's saying is not making no sense, like he's lying. I said, and then I said, it's got to be somebody that's working behind him. They got him that many members. And he's just, como se dice, the fall guy or the pawn. So somebody is working behind him to give him those subscribers. You know, whether they're real or troll, they help him out. That's what I see. Está bien pendejo, bien baboso, ese vato, man. I've met hillbillies in the military, not really true hillbillies, but this guy here, man, he drank too much freaking Kool-Aid, man, too much Flavor-Aid. That he's the pendejo, man. There's no way that's gotta be fake. It's like. It's got to be fake. You know, all those numbers got to be fake. But, yeah, he's not bright at all, dude. He's one of those fucking lights that, se le apaga el pinche foco, no, like the light, you know, the ones that used to clap back in the day, they shut off, but it's a constant slap, constant clap like this. He's like keeps on going in, off and on. He's not all up there, man. He's slow as hell. I think when he graduated kindergarten, he thought that he graduated already, that he had to go back to school. You know? Honestly, he's, I guess, what's the word? Hickleberry? He's hicker than a hiccup. Yeah, man, he's slow as hell, man. I'm like, what the hell? I said, there's a guy. I said, man, maybe, you know, he's like, I don't know. It's got to be somebody, you know, I know for sure for a fact that it's somebody working behind him and he's using him as a pawn, you know. Because he's too dumb, man. Yeah, he's like a constant clapper. Le prende pinche ojo y... Well, he says, they probably got a freaking a piece of cardboard in the back in big letters, and he's reading the verses off of there with a big ass cardboard, reading scriptures. He probably reads the same scripture, try to memorize it, but I had to put it with a cardboard, you know, probably with spray paint and shit so he can read it. So he can sound like he's a holy person, because right after that, the demon comes out. And he's just talking shit about a lot of people. You know, remember, guys, where we're reviewing, this is my group that I can vent. You know, I'm an ex-veteran from the United States Army. I was in Operation Desert Storm, Operation, oh man, Gulf veteran. I was a Gulf veteran. I was there from the beginning to the end. So I'm just venting a little bit. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. You know, Carlito, I've done so many podcasts with many different people, but this guy, man, golly, it's like a freaking rock, dude. I collect minerals, and I feel my minerals are smarter than him. It's like a freaking rock. If he was a rock, what kind of rock would it be? I don't think he's even a rock, dude. He's honestly like a chunk of mud that breaks off in little pieces. So, can I call him Muddy Mike? He's soquete, man. He's soquete. He's not even a rock. That's how pendejo he is. That's how dumb he is. He's a piedra. Not piedra, soquete. He's not even a rock, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, I said, I hope Brother Carlito listens to this guy, what he's saying, man. Maybe see what he thinks. What do you think, Brother Carlito, about this guy? You're probably wondering the same thing, right? Like, how the hell did he get this many viewers? Who's helping him out? That's how I see it as. Because the stuff he talks about doesn't make no freaking sense. Those, you know, you've heard stories from a lot of people. You've investigated, look into stuff, you know, through looking through the computer and stuff like that. The stuff that this guy is saying doesn't make no sense, man. Like, he's puro fraudulent, man. Like, fake as hell, you know. Internet panhandler, yeah. He's fake. His stories don't make no sense. I think there's a video where he's throwing a rock, pretending that there's a Bigfoot there, and he's caught on video throwing the rock himself. And when he threw it, he said, "Oh, you heard that? You heard that?" He threw the rock. You got busted, you know, throwing a rock. He threw the rock to make it seem as a sound effect, you know, like there's somebody there. I mean, you see them, you see all those people pretending that there's a Bigfoot, and then you can see it's a person in costume and stuff like that. I think there was one where they posted one with supposedly a werewolf looking through the window, and then somebody posted the mask, the same mask that the person is wearing. Like, hey, look, here's a mask. It's not a real thing. It's somebody in a mask. Oh my God, man. He's an internet fan. Shit, I got a piggy bank. I got a piggy bank here. You know, he ain't gonna get my piggy bank. Hell no. Hell no. And I'm like, when I seen the video, that's the first time I ever seen any videos of this guy, man. I seen it, I'm like, God dang. And I'm in his group. I was like, I'm putting my stuff in his group. And he was the one that was making fun of my pictures and all this with fake accounts. But I'm like, I'm in this guy that has no brains. The Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz had more brains than this guy. This guy has no brains. You know, like, and I was in his group for 8 months. I was like, who the hell invited me into this group? You know? If I knew that he was dumber than a rock, dude, I would have never joined this group. I feel sorry for this fella, man. I'm thinking all these members that he got are freaking bots, fake profiles, you know? Or he probably created them himself. So basically he listens to his own stupidity that comes out of his mouth. That's crazy, no? Now, if he's got that many profiles, what comes in many? The Legion. So the Legion got full control of this guy. That is dumbfounded. That's the word. Look it up in the Bible. Look up dumbfounded spirit. Look that up in the Bible and look how many times it comes out. Look it up. Google it. Dumbfounded spirit. It's going to show you a lot of scripture. And I believe he has a dumbfounded spirit. Yeah, that's what he has, a dumbfounded spirit. Que también lo trae bien pendejo, you know. Yeah. I don't know who's winning between the Cowboys and San Francisco. I'm not watching the game right now. I just decided to make this video. Yeah. But you see Carlito, like I told you, I'm a man of my word. My numbers are still the same. So just because I attended somebody's conference, you know, there's no promises given my way. You know, I did it because I wanted to do it. And, you know, I'm trying to keep peace within the community, you know, trying to do the right thing, you know, but my números are they're not growing that much here on Facebook nor on YouTube, but that's okay. I'll go with the flow. It's a matter of time, you know, that I'll get there eventually, you know. What's the score, cousin? What's the score? How bad are they losing? Like 21-0? How many interceptions has Dak thrown? Oh, man. That's not good. So I'm glad I'm doing the spiritual. I'm going to continue with the video then. You know, I was trying to cut it to try to go check out the game, but yeah, man. It's like how can somebody que está bien menso, bien tonto, have that many people, you know? And when you look at the videos, it's always about donations, donate this and this, donate. It sounds like it's about the tithe, you know. Remember I told you why I don't ask for donations in any kind of way because of what happened to me. Imagine if the tithe of 1 penny, if 1 penny, you know how you ask for donations? Imagine if it's a demon working through the computer, sending them money, and he's sending them $10, $5, but he really don't know that he's actually buying his soul for $5 to $10, you know? You know, just a hypothesis, you know, how they can work and trick somebody into collecting their soul for free. I mean, shit, por las estampillas, you know, He's on the Medic Long Star. But no, I don't know what they call it over there in on the Vive, where he lives. Pollard fumbled. Yeah. I'm glad y'all enjoying the game. But anyways, I was just making a quick video. Thank y'all for tuning in. But let me know, man. I'm still here. You know, it's just like for like 2-3 weeks now, man. It's like I just want to darle la madre este vato, no? Like, whoop him, man. It's like, because he talks stuff about me, and I'm trying to wing it off. I'm trying to make the videos to continue to do the works that I do. You know, it's just, como se dice, when somebody mess with you and that you thought that they were being true because they invited you there truthfully, and then they show you the true colors, you know, I just want to teach this guy a lesson, you know. We can do this, what is it called, cousin, again? The combat, mutual combat. I want to do a mutual combat with him. I want to do a mutual combat with him. With him, I want to line them all up. With him and everybody that's lined up, I want to do mutual combat with all of them. I got enough for everybody. You know, they can come in numbers. You know, line them all up. Y órale. Mutual combat. That's what it's called here in the state of Texas, right? Mutual combat. But anyways, I have a video that I haven't debunked yet because of all this crap. 3 weeks ago, I did a video out, or 2 weeks ago, I did a video out there in the woods at 3 in the morning, and I caught something. There was just only one person viewing the video with me because I was talking to him. I told him I was going to go a video because I felt that I was being demonically attacked by some unseen forces. So I did the video, and there was something out there that made a weird noise right there, right beside me. I could see movement and everything. And a boy that was watching it, he was like, "Hey, did you hear that?" You could see it on the thing where he said, "Did you hear that?" And I had to debunk that video. I haven't debunked it yet. Mutual combat. There you go. I want to do mutual combat, Mortal Kombat, whatever's clever. Yeah, but I caught something on the video, man. It sounded like a freaking banshee. It sounded like a woman that yelled like a banshee. And I see movement to my right. That's what it sounded like. And the guy that was viewing the video was like, "Did you hear that shit?" You know? We'll do a fucking, Rick Newton. RKO on him. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I caught something there. I have the video there on my group, well, on YouTube. It's in the dark at 3 in the morning. Y'all want to check it out for yourselves. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it back and get to the part where I heard the banshee or something freaking scream real loud, you know? Like it was trying to, the sound he made, he was trying to disorient, I can't see if I can say it. Disorient, I can't even say it. Disorient me, there you go. He was trying to disorient me, throw me out of track. Because when he made that yell, it's like everything like spun a little bit on me. It felt like everything went in a circle. So he was trying to throw me off track. But I need to debunk that video to when it gets to that part. Yeah. But when I do debunk it, break it down, what I'm gonna make it sound louder. When I get to the part where I heard the banshee or whatever it was that screamed or made like a loud freaking sonar sound, like a screech of some sort. When I get to the part, you know, I'm gonna make a short reel of it, the actual sound that it made. We got Michael. Was it Michael Green here? I see you up there in the corner. But anyways, let me go. I think that's all for tonight, guys. I've been on for a while. I got some flautas waiting for me in the kitchen. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit me up, brother Carlito. Maybe we can do something with Primo Jesse. Wants to talk about werewolves and vampires or something, wasn't it, cousin Jesse? He wanted to talk about werewolves and vampires. I got some stories about you. How I think what I seen over there in Germany. That said that you knew who I was. That it knew my grandmother, my grandfather, and it said their names. And it was talking with a German accent. I don't know what that was. There's other two things. Because in South Texas, it's called labor camp. And labor camp, right there by Raymondville, where I used to live, when the war was happening, they were bringing the Russian soldiers, I mean the German soldiers, and they were held them captive their labor camp. So whatever it was that they came to labor camp, I believe it was two things. They knew my family, my familia, my grandfather, grandmother's name. They knew they named all my brothers and sisters. Two things: either something demonic, or someone that did necromancy, witchcraft, or there's only one other thing that I can think could read a mind in that nature, which makes some sense, would be the Nosferatu. The Nosferatu. Either or. But anyways, I don't want to keep you out from your Cowboys game. I'm going to go eat and go watch the game myself. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit me up, brother Carlito, whenever you want to do something. I mean, cousin Jesse's talking about vampires and werewolves. But I'm going to debunk that video, and when I download that material. And for those of you, this video afterwards, it's just me venting in my group, venting. I'm not trying to hurt nobody in any kind of way. I'm just venting. This is a venting video. Sometimes you got to vent. Sometimes I vent when people are coming up against me in a negative way. What I do, I turn that negative into a positive. I work out. I work out, I go for a walk, I'll make a video here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters and vent out a little bit. It's not good to hold negative stuff in, so I'll vent out and say what I gotta say. But it's not necessarily directing that I want to hurt anybody in any kind of way. Like I said, I think already once they took my things out of context out of my video and just took certain things of a video. I was talking about the Medina Republican Guard and the battle I was in. They took the part of when I said that I shot somebody between the eyes and when I ran over somebody with a tank, and they used that to try to say that I was going to do that to them, but they didn't say the whole story, what I was talking about, how I shot the soldier that jumped on my tank, and I shot him with a personal 9mm in between the eyes because I had no choice. And this is in the middle of combat, and then that when they kept on driving, the people were coming out of the ground, so the tank would hit them and they would get cut in half. But they took that out of context and tried to make it seem like I was threatening them. I said they can take anything out of context all they want to. I got the proof that I wasn't talking about them at all. That about anything like that. Yeah, cousin Jesse, man, he's been through a lot, man. Cousin Jesse, he's been through a lot. He knows a lot of things. The reason he knows a lot of things, I'm gonna say of the dark side, is because he's been there. He's been there. He's been there all his life as a chiquito. He's been through a lot of crap. Now that he's older, he's awakening up spiritually, and but he's seen a lot. He's seen a lot. He's got stories to say, and some of the stories he has to say, he don't want to say too much because it could be incriminating. You know, kind of like Sergeant SIAS has the stories he hasn't said because it could be incriminating. But that's what happens when you're placed in a situation where it's a matter of life to death. You know, you got to do what you got to do to live another day. You know, if you have family that you love, you got to do what you got to do to be there for your children. You know, so it's about survival. That's what this world is about. It's about survival. You know, how are you going to survive? Survival of the fittest. No, that's what it is about. But Cousin Jesse is awakening out spiritually, and he's seeing things now a different way, which is good. But Cousin Jesus, that's a bad mother. I'm going to say it like this. That's a bad mother. He was bad mother back in the day and all his life. So he knows what I'm talking about. He was there for me because we're primos, we're cousins. He was there for me when I was going through a lot when I was a teenager, you know, and he kind of like, you know, I tried a Montella Foundation, but then I had to go a different route instead of the Love Foundation because of the people that were coming up against us. You couldn't use the Love Foundation to overcome them, you know, you had to use this, you know. They come at you in a threatful manner, you go back at them in a threatful manner. You know, you got to do what you got to do. And that's how life is sometimes, you know. It's about surviving life. But now we're older and stuff, but I still work out and everything, you know, even though I got my ailments, you know, I do my workouts. But anyways, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. You know, I know y'all disappointed with the Cowboy games. If you're telling me they're losing 14-0, I don't even know I want to go watch it. But yeah, the DLF. He knows my story, brother Carlito. He knows what we went through. No, these people here, they're like freaking jokester. They're a joke compared to what I went through when I was a teenager. The people that were coming up against me, they didn't want to beat me up. They wanted to take my life. Just like the people I came up against in the army. They didn't want to beat me up. They wanted to take my life. But guess what? I'm still here. You couldn't get the job done. Como dice el dicho in Spanish, aquí estoy y no me voy. And that's my mentality. So in the cryptic community, whoever's in cahoots, trying to hit me from all directions, I don't pay attention to that, you know, because I'm in my mind. I'm like, aquí estoy y no me voy, you know. No matter who comes up against me, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to continue to do my works. You know, I'm gonna just start another group just for the hell of it. Porque aquí estoy y no me voy. If people want to know what aquí estoy y no me voy, look it up. Google it. Aquí estoy y no me voy. I'm here and I won't go. That's what it stands for. So many people, man, they come at me in the negative way. They're like, no matter what they tried, they failed. And it's like every time they see me, you can see the hatred within themselves. Because aquí estoy y no me voy. There you go. Ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere. You know, affiliations are affiliations, but there could be pretenders pretending to be there somebody, but I'm the real deal. SIAS, the real deal. Every stories that I've said are 100% real. They're stories from my experiences of my life, of what I've been through in my life. And there's a lot of stories that I'll talk about cousin Jesse was there to verify what I'm saying that is truth. You know, I wasn't raised que te echando mentiras to be lying. You know, it's about being straight up, especially when we're trying to find out things here in the cryptic community, spiritual community. I believe that if people will truly get together, that they really want to find something out, that it can work, you know. But we cannot have the snakes or the wannabes, the hoaxers. That's what messes up the community, right? Is the people that they're really not the people that they say they are, and they hear somebody like me that talks straight up, and I don't read no cue cards, you know. And people like the stories that I'm saying and the wisdom and knowledge that I'm sharing. So even though I'm gonna be that big within the groups, I still have a lot of people to see my videos. They message me through Messenger, and I talk to them, respond back to them, and they like that because I'm real. So they hate that. They like for me to say what I say about the DDN because it takes out of what their belief is or what they're trying to push, right? So that's why a lot of people dislike me, because what I'm saying is going against what they're trying to push to their viewership, to the people and they listen to me or listen to my podcast, and it makes sense to them, right? So they get pissed off. So they're like, well, how are we going to get rid of this guy? You know, how are we going to get rid of brother SIAS, Sergeant SIAS, whatever personality he has? You can't, because I'm going to do this works. You know, you attempted before, and when you successfully deleted my old Facebook account and my group, Positive Spiritualist, but I had backup. I had all my pictures and everything saved. So I brought it back and created it. And aquí estoy, y no me voy. ¿Y qué? You know, what are y'all going to do? I'm still going to do the works that I do. So I suggest just leave me alone. Leave my little group alone. That's what I do, you know. Don't be a hater. If people like me because of what I say or what I speak of, and if you all say if the haters are saying bullshit stories and they're lying, people can see that. People can tell when you're saying a bullshit story. People you can tell when somebody's lying in their interviews. They can tell. So don't be hating me for doing my works that I do. You know, hate yourself. Look in the mirror. You know, you're saying bullshit stories. Hate yourself. Because you're the one that's putting yourself... When you don't say true stories from the heart or something you may experience, and people can tell when somebody's bullshitting, then it's going to make you like a bullshitter. So I'm not the one that has shit stains on me. It's you. You know, for the ones that are coming up against me negative way, it's y'all. My stories are legit, 100% legit. I got family that can vouch. I got military members that are on my friends list that can vouch for the stories. I got people that was there with me when I witnessed the things that we witnessed it together. So I didn't witness the things by myself. I have family members. So if you want to place good context out there, just make sure it's freaking real, man. You know, you want to throw stories out there that are make-believe. You know, people are going to know it's make-believe. You know, people nowadays are not dumb, you know. Well, I'm sorry. There is one that's completely an idiot, and he lives in Oklahoma. I'm going to call him Soqueta Mike. He's not even a rock. Soqueta Rock, Mud Rock. No, Mud Mikey. So They hear what I have to say spiritually. They hate it. They hate that. They hate what I have to say spiritually. And when I'm saying it, it's being real, 100% real, because I'm guided that way spiritually. So they hate it. They try to counterattack with some BS. But then what comes out when somebody's lying to somebody being spiritual real, physically real, where I've been? What's going to happen? They're going to like, because you're saying the truth compared to somebody saying some BS. Sooner or later, you know, people will tell. So it's not, don't hate the player, hate the game. That's an old one. That's an old one. Don't hate the player, hate the game, you know, and that's why I see all these people coming up against me, because I'm not part of their alliance or cults or whatever they're affiliated with. And the stories that they say are nothing but BS, you know. I've seen people say some stories, man, and you could tell it's BS. But I keep my mouth shut because I don't want, you know, start nothing. So I just let people say whatever they say they're going to say. Prior military, when a soldier's lying to me, I can tell when somebody's lying to me. You know, that was my job, because my job was to know, if I want to mold my soldiers to be warriors, I got to know their strengths, their weaknesses. So I was able to know when a soldier was truthful and when a soldier was trying to bullshit me. So I knew in that manner at Sergeant SIAS, when I listened to some of the stories, I know sometimes you send me videos like, hey, what do you think about this? I was like, man, that's a costume, bro. You can tell right off the bat, you know. But I'll let you know straight up what I think, what I see, you know. Same way, I see a person, I hear somebody that's a podcaster saying a story, or saying they like saying stories. I'm like, man, that makes no sense at all, you know. It's BS, you know. But people like hearing stories, whether they're real or make believe. But those that are make believe, you can see the truth that the ones that are true, you can see the truth in them. The ones that are BS, you can see the BS in them. I guess I can say it bluntly and simple that way. Don't hate me because I speak the truth, you know, and that's who I am. You know, I'm not going to BS you. You know, I remember when some of these trolls come at me like, well, I heard your stories about this and that, but I think what happened in Elms Grove is all BS. I said, well, bring your ass to Elms Grove. Bring your ass to Elms Grove. I'll show you that what's in Elms Grove is still there. You wanna go check it out? So the doubt can go away from you. But if you come, don't be surprised if something's gonna happen to you. I think to this day, I haven't had nobody from the Kitty community try to show themselves up there. I think there was only 2 people that showed up. Who's brother, got RP, rest his soul, Armando Salazar. He helped me. He came. He came when he used to work with Vic. He came at nighttime. You know, he was prior military. He came to check out the area at night, and he witnessed something. He witnessed something. All I know is it was Sunday morning. I had a knock on the door, and it was him standing on the door, and he asked me, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." He said, "How can you be in 2 places at once?" I was like, "What do you mean? Who are you?" He said, "I'm Vic Honda's night guy." I said, "How can you be in 2 places at once?" I said, so can you explain it more? What you're talking about? So I was over here by the creek. You know, I had already been at your house, and I seen you inside your house. You know, that's his job to know if the people were being real or the people were bullshitting, right? I seen you in your house. Then I go over here in a park by this parking lot where they told me to park, you know, because of the activity near the creek. As I'm sitting there, I see you standing by the creek. dressed all in black, and you tell me, come here, and you say my name. You say my name, my full name, and come here. I got in my car. He said, I got the hell out, I drove the hell out of there. I went back to your house, and you're in your house. He said, how can that be? I said, like I said before, when I shared my story to Vic Condov, that I believe what we're dealing here in Elms Grove is something demonic that has the ability to shapeshift or manifest itself to look like anybody. That's the only time I've ever spoken, like I said, God rest his soul, to Brother Armando Salazar. He told me, I know certain individuals are going to be mad when I bring this up, but I'm going to say what I experienced myself. So he's not here with us no more, but he experienced something that I experienced a lot of times in Elms Grove. So all these trolls, they want to question my stories, grab the little cajones tight and come over to Elms Grove. We'll see how much of a hombre or man you are in Elms Grove. Trust me, they'll come to you. They will come to you. If you think when somebody goes to a petting zoo, that the animals come to the car, they'll come to your car, man. I'm telling you. If you have a spiritual opening, you're on the bad road, doing drugs, drinking, alcoholic, living in sin, you have anger, hatred, or vengeance, they will come to you like a petting zoo in Elms Grove. That you're going to want to take off like a bat out of hell out of there. But one thing about spirits or demonic spirits like that is that they have the capabilities to attach themselves to you. And when you're driving like a bat out of hell to make it home, or they're attached on you, when you walk into your interior home, you're letting them into your house. And it just doesn't affect you, it affects the whole family. Let me speak on this essay, like Conan from wrestling. I'm speaking on it. Speaking it on Al Chile. Being real. I fought many spiritual wars, spiritual battles there in Elms Grove. Saul, he told me that he was there to help me, But after he witnessed what he witnessed, I don't think he came back, man. I don't think he came back, but he was scared. What he seen, what he witnessed. Imagine when people talk about double hangers or whatever they call them, right? Is it really a double hanger? Or is it a demonic presence that has the capability to manifest to look like you or your loved one? That's what Brother Big Sal, that's what they call him, Big Sal, or Brother, Combat Brother, because it's prior military, retired from the military, that he ran into there in Elms Grove. That he freaked them the hell out. This is a guy that will be out there in the field, like me, like a tanker. So for something to scare him that bad that he had to come and ask me, how could it be? And he knew it wasn't me because he seen me at the house, So he knew it wasn't me, that he freaked out with that. Yeah, double hangers. Well, the demons, they have the capability to manifest to look like somebody you might know temporarily, or manifest to mimic somebody's voice. It's like numerous times it mimicked voices of people that I knew trying to call me into the woods or into the creek at nighttime while I sat at the picnic table. And some of these people that were mimicking voices from was people that didn't even live in the area. It was people that I knew. It was mimic the voices. Sometimes you could hear laughing echoing through the park, coming from the woods, where they were laughing, making fun of me. You could hear a woman laughing, you could hear a man laughing, and they're laughing, making fun of me, you know. But I wasn't afraid of them. But yeah, it's very real, spiritual real. You know, I see all these people that do all this works. They take their equipment and all. I don't need no equipment to see this the unseen. I'm speaking truthfully to y'all here. I run into this, and I see it all the time. I'm experiencing how this moments can be, where where some people could be scared shitless. Me, I have the tendency within me not being scared, because when they make their appearance like that, no, I go into prayer, straight up into prayer. I don't go into my little book of what to do, or or a book for dummies. You know, I fight spiritually because I already know what to do. You know, so when I say the stories, some people that are real spiritual, they understand what I'm talking about, or they're going through something. I remember one time this person contacted me and said, look, I want to say thank you, because there was one evening where I witnessed these things coming at me, and I remember that you said that you're never alone, and God is Jesus Christ is with you to rebuke him in Jesus Christ's name. He said that he has seen some shadow figures coming at him, and he rebuked them in Jesus Christ's name. When he rebuked in Jesus Christ's name, through true faith, they disappeared. And they called me to thank me. That's the problem that we're having. All these people, they come in a negative way because they're negative people, because they're affiliated to cults. They want to deceive the people through fake stories. They don't like when I bring Jesus Christ in the picture, because that's the main source of goodness, of a love foundation, of forgiveness, is Jesus Christ. Because he comes into play, because he blesses us with the spiritual gifts of discernment. And with those spiritual gifts of discernment, you're able to see things that you cannot normally see. It may seem like your love foundation becomes that stronger, and you have a 911 automatic with Jesus Christ. So he's there as a protector and avenger. And I know that some people that might tune in to this, they're going to get mad because I'm talking about. I don't care if they get mad. They can go cry me a river for all I care. They can get mad all they want to, but I'm just being truthful. I just heard something, but I think it might have been my computer. I'm not sure. Yeah, I've been there. Look, military, offense and defense. What does that mean? I know offense and defense, how to fight offense and defense. And I train during the day and during the night. So I've seen things out there at night, just like I would see before, that are around us. It says some certain things go bump in the night. Well, I've seen them. But what I've seen has just made me stronger, because it makes my faith stronger, and I know Jesus Christ is with me. So I don't worry about the things that come up against you spiritually, because Jesus Christ is with me. Just like I'm not worried about these individuals that are trying to come up against me. The only thing about them is, like, I called them out, and nobody responded, because they're not man enough to respond. But I'm not worried about those guys. They've already chosen the path. They know what they're aligned with. They know what whether they believe in the cult, they're living in sin because of the things they do, choking out women. I mean, you can look up certain people's names and you see what they've done. Choking out women. I mean, who in the right mind is going to have a record of choking up women, three different women? Do you think that makes you a man? Choking out women? No, that's a panocha, man. That's what that is. That's not a man at all. But, you know, those are the people that are coming up against me. Like I said, aquí estoy, no me voy. I ain't going anywhere. I'm going to continue to do my works. Now they're just going to have to hear earful of me now speaking from now on. Because I'm going to continue to bash these guys that are affiliated together till they stop doing what they're doing. I know they're not going to stop, so they're going to continue to listen to me bash them. I mean, honestly, man, for anybody here, what do you think about a guy that hits women and beats women? Answer me straight up right now. Is that a man? Anybody there is viewing, is that a man? A person that chokes women and hits women, is that a man? That's not a man at all. That's a person I believe is behind a lot of things right now. But that doesn't make you a man. You know what that makes you? A woman abuser. When you do that to a woman, that's a woman abuser. You're lucky that a person like me wasn't around when you was doing that, because you would have been dealt with. That's all I got to say about guys that like abusing their women. I hate that. Yeah, it's not a man. Not a man at all. That's cowards, man. I've stood up to innocent women where guys are trying to start with them and coming after them, and I'll stand for them. Even though I might not know them, I intervene, you know. I intervene because I don't like that. You know, it's okay. You want to stand up, you want to say you're going to do this. You want to do this to a woman? You want to do this? Well, how about do it to me? Let's do it. Let's do it right now. See what happens. They back out real fast because they don't want none. But they feel it's more like a mental abuse, so they get a kick out of it when they mess with women like that. They ain't gonna want none from a guy because they'll get their ass whooped. Straight up. Yeah, big chavala. The people like that, man, I plead the fifth. That's all I gotta say. People like that, I say it like this. I plead the fifth. Because I've dealt with people like that in the past, and I plead the fifth. Doesn't that sound weird? That plead almost sounds like bleed. Plead the fifth. Bleed the fifth. Almost sounds the same, right? Plead and bleed. If you really think about it. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Handle business, you know. But anyways, I think I've talked enough. Thank you all for tuning in here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters with Sergeant Abe / Brother CS / many other, how should I say, moments of my life that I was speaking of right now. You know, that's one thing about me, that when you go through something, you always remember what you went through. That's when you know when somebody's being real. Because if their story changes constantly, then it's like, well, how can it keep on changing constantly? Like me, I had a blow to the head when I was in the military, so it's like my memory is getting better now. You know, my memory is getting better, in which I'm remembering certain events that happened that I had forgotten, you know. So as older I'm getting, my memory is getting better. You know, they said that when I hit the blow in the head in the military, that I probably was going to lose memory loss. Well, I had a little bit of memory loss, but it's like everything's resurfacing up. It's kind of like your brain is like a computer, right? It backs up the files, and you start remembering everything that you have forgotten. But oh boy, man, he's not even a computer, man. He's more like a freaking a ping pong machine, man. La little bolita que you go like that, the little ball, the steel ball that you hit it, ding, 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 ding. That's He don't even have a brain. He has a ping pong machine as a brain operating for him. That makes sense? But anyways, thank y'all. God bless y'all. Brother Carlito, hit me up. When you want to do something, I know with Brother Primo Jesus. If y'all want to do something, let me know. We'll figure out a date. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. God bless every single one of y'all. And remember one thing. You are somebody. You are somebody in this world. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And never give up in life. Because life is precious. But the main thing is always maintain the Love Foundation. Even though I might have said some things on this video, I still maintain my Love Foundation. Like I said, this video I'm venting. So I'm saying whatever comes out of my mouth, which is okay. God bless y'all. Let me go see if I can change the luck of the Cowboys so they can win. I don't even know what the score is right now. But y'all have a beautiful, blessed evening. God bless every single one of y'all. And for those that are going to tune and view this video, thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a beautiful, blessed night. Peace out.